Yes, boys. So in this video, we're going to talk about gathering effective intelligence in sales. I think in appointment setting, this is the main thing that people struggle with is actually, the discovery phase. And as we know that all sales, the most important part of that is the discovery. So that's what we're talking about here, discovery. Gathering effective intel. Right now, in the high ticket sales market, the intelligence gathering is terrible. You could be talking to a business coach that's doing 100 grand a month and they're hitting them with questions like, oh, well, what's your goals, man? Oh, yeah, cool. And how far away are you from the goal at the moment? And what's holding you back from achieving that goal, bro? The same silly script. I know for a 100% certainty, if you ask me these type of questions in the DMs, I'm not going to answer your question. The goal behind this video is I'm going to teach you how to be a detective. We want to be asking questions, but they're questions that they're fine with. We want to ask questions with human psychology. We want to become a detective. That's what we need to be here, a detective. We're not just going to walk into the guy's house. Good morning, sir. Quick question for you. Did you kill your wife? That's just going to put his guard up. If I asked him, did he kill his wife, his guard's going to go right up and he's not going to be receptive to my questions anymore. Instead, what I want to do is I want to knock on his door. Oh, yeah, how you doing, sir? And I want to ask him questions that are not direct. Did you kill your wife? But I'm going to ask him questions to try and use my brain to figure out, okay, that did he kill his wife or not? I'm going to ask him, like, oh, well, when was the last time he seen his wife? Like, what was you doing the day she went missing? How long did it take to report the accident? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not just going to ask him, did he kill his wife? It's going to make his guard go up. So we've got different types of questions that we need to be asking prospects, because questioning, the two differences between an amazing salesperson and just an average salesperson is asking the right questions and telling stories. Those are the two main things that you need to develop if you want to be an absolute superstar at sales. So you're literally just telling stories, asking questions. That's it. So what we need to do is when we're asking our questions, the first thing on my list of 5 here is start with the non-intrusive questions. And then over time, as you're asking non-intrusive questions, you can build your way up to the more intrusive ones. However, notice how it goes from non-intrusive to more intrusive. It doesn't go from non-intrusive to intrusive. At no point in this appointment setting process do we want to be asking intrusive questions. It's going to scare them away. Asking them how much money they've got in their bank account right now. It can work in maybe B2C if you've got really warm leads. Probably going to scare them away. You've at least got to warm them up before you start asking them intrusive questions like that, right? So we start off with just easy questions, like, oh, where are you from, man? Where do you come across my page? Blah, blah, blah. Easy questions, and we work our way up to it. You're warming them up. You're not just rushing straight into the close. You're not just making them get naked straight away. Like, you're just easing into it. That's what I'd say. So start off with the non-intrusive questions. Now, when it comes to the questions, obviously we've got different types of questions that we can ask people here. A lot of people will obviously be digging, trying to find pain. But the reality is 75% of the market's not even in pain. 25% are in pain. 25% just want current pleasure. We'll call it CP. 25% of the market want to avoid future pain. They're not in current pain, but they want to avoid future pain. So let's say they're in a really competitive industry. They're currently doing really well with their business. They're smashing targets. They've got great profit margins. They've got a great business right now. But they're a little bit insecure about their competitors are catching up to them. So they want to avoid future pain. And then the other 25% of the market, they just want future pleasure. And usually these guys here are going to be some of the best clients you'll ever work with, ever. Because they're just wildly ambitious. They're willing to take risks. Their situation's fine right now, but they're continuing to push hard for the future. Most people that are in current pain, they're idiots. Because it's took them, until this point, it's took them so long to the point where now they are actually in pain to actually go seek out a solution to this problem. So a lot of these people are going to be the worst people to work with. But the thing is with that appointment setting space right now is everyone focuses on pain. Even if there is no pain, they're asking so many questions to the point where they're trying to make pain out of thin air. Well, what I say to my appointment setting guys and alpha setters is, you're not a fucking therapist. For you know what I mean? For fuck's sake, like, chill out. You're not a therapist. Stop trying to create pain out of nowhere. What we need to do is when we're asking questions, straight away we should be able to identify, okay, which one of these 4 client avatars are we talking to? Like, okay, like what's his situation right now? Let's get an idea. So we know what industry he is, what's his business, or what does he do? What's his situation? Cool. We understand the current situation. So now after understanding the current situation, we can try and get an idea of like who this is. We don't necessarily have to ask them, oh, what's your goals that you're working towards? No, if he tells me that he's a business coach and he's helping people make money through Forex or something, I've got a pretty good idea that he must be doing quite well for himself because he's coaching other people to do that. I can have a look at it on his page. Has he got many student wins? Has he got many client testimonials? I'm going to have a look. I can get an idea of, is he doing well or is he not doing well? Is he in pain or does he just want future pleasure? It's probably a future pleasure type of guy. You know, if someone reaches out to me and I know that they're 200 pounds, they're smelly and their wife's just divorced them, then obviously I know that he's in pain. He's fat and he needs to lose weight. Get an idea of their current situation and identify which of those 4 people are you talking to. Once you understand which one of those 4 people you're talking to, then we can start to ask these probing questions and these consequences. Okay? So, let's say we've got someone that is fat, smelly, and recently divorced. Since that's the answer example I just gave. Someone that's fat, smelly, and recently divorced is in pain. Now I'm going to ask questions like this, probing questions, consequence questions, to try and create urgency, to try and make him realize that he needs to change here. So I might ask questions like, okay, well, what happens? You know, I'm not gonna write this all out. Actually, maybe I'll type it. What happens if you don't do anything about this? I might ask him, what happens if he doesn't take action? What if he doesn't do anything about that? I'm just trying to plant the seed in his head, make him realize that he needs to do something here. Okay. How has that had an how has that had an impact on you? How has that been affecting you mentally? You know, what happens if you don't do anything about this? What happens if you don't find what you're looking for? What happens if you don't take action in the next 3 months? We can ask him questions like this just to make him realize that, oh, dumb, he needs to take action now. So that's what I mean by asking probing questions, consequence questions. I really like these ones. I learned it from the book New Model of Selling by Jeremy Miner. I think they're great, especially on closing calls. Amazing. But another principle here, because we're talking about asking questions, but one thing that we always need to do is ideally we need to give before we ask. This is something that I picked up in direct sales. I learned so much in direct sales. I think, honestly, direct sales is the best foundation for any business owner, for any online entrepreneur, anything like that. I learned this in that space. So instead of asking them, like, oh, like, what do you do for work, mate? Instead, I might be like, so let's say, oh, I'm from Nottingham. Where are you from? I'm from Birmingham. Oh, that's interesting that. I was talking to someone from Birmingham last week. He works as a software engineer. What is it that you do, mate? I'm giving them something before I'm asking. Let's say I wanted to qualify how much money he earns a month, right? I'm not just going to say, how much money do you earn in that job? I mean, I might be like, oh, awesome. Oh, that's really strange that you say that. I was literally speaking to someone at the bus stop yesterday. He's in the exact same industry as you. He was taking home around $5,000 a month. Is that roughly like similar to what you're on? You can just make it up, to be honest, but like you're just giving them something before you ask. And then also it's almost like a little bit of a reason of why you're asking it. It's smooth. What a lot of setters need to work on in the online space, they need to work on being smooth. Everything's smooth, right? So give before you ask. That this applies to so many situations, but I definitely recommend you implement this into your appointment setting. You'll notice a massive improvement. Next of all, so when you're appointment setting people, this is mainly when like you're doing like outbound. If you're an SDR, you're doing cold DMs or something along those lines. Why are you talking to them? Why them? Why now? Now, I believe that people in the online space try and make out that you need to like personalizing the messages. personalizing the messages is the key to outreach. This is true in a way, but let me explain. Because people will be like, oh, hi, Temi, just watched your recent video about so-and-so and so-and-so. Thought it was really informative, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. By the way, just want to say that I've got a great video editing portfolio. Don't care. You personalize the message, but I still don't care. Why don't I care? Because it's not genuine. It's not genuine. You've told me that, okay, yeah, you want to work for me, so you've scanned through a quick 15 seconds of my video beforehand. There's no value there. Instead of personalizing, because the guys that say this, that you need to personalize messages, they're on the right lines, but they're not telling the full story. And again, learned this in direct sales when I was doing door-to-door. It goes deeper than that. You need a reason. You need a reason to be messaging the person. A genuine reason. So an easy way to put this is, why them? Why now? So let me explain. Is that personalizing the messages doesn't necessarily have to be like a super personalized message, but what it does need to do is it needs to sound like a genuine reason for messaging them. You can make something up if you want to, but have a reason for messaging the person. It's not necessarily about personalizing it, it's about having a reason. So, for example, let's say that you've just onboarded someone from Birmingham. You just onboarded a client from Birmingham. Oh, hey John, can see that you've got a content agency down in Birmingham. Funny, I just signed someone on last week. I think he's one of your biggest competitors, actually. That's the reason why I'm reaching out. Automatically, that is so much more interesting. If you message me, oh, hi, Temi, by the way, I'm in talks with your top competitors, blah, blah, blah. Would love to have just a chat to see how I can help you out with content or something like that. I'm going to be so much more interested in that message. It's not necessarily because it's personalized, because I get loads of personalized messages. It's the fact that you've actually got a genuine reason for messaging me. Oh, that's why I thought I'd reach out. I've just started working with this guy. I'm in conversation with this guy. It's a reason. That's why then, why now. It makes sense. There's loads of little spins that you can put on this, like reasons for messaging people. Could be mutual friends. Could be mutual interests. It could be because you're talking to one of their competitors. Could be because you've came across some new, very game-changing insights in the info products market. I don't care what it is. Think of a reason to message them specifically. That's going to make your outreach literally perform probably 3 times better than it is now. If you're currently getting a 15% response rate, implement these changes, you'll be at least pushing 40% trust. I've managed it. I've literally seen it for myself. I managed to get a 50% response rate. It was 47.5, but 47.5% response rate on cold outbound because I implemented this strategy. So it definitely works, boys. So next, neediness. Neediness can be smelt from a mile away. And if you come across like you need the sale, then it's going to scare people away. When you're messaging people, when you're appointment setting, they need to be curious and feel inclined to speak to you because you've got some insights that you can give them. So you need to frame yourself correctly. If you're just super, super needy, you're following up literally every other day, blah, 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 and you're displaying no value, you're not selling any stories, you're not giving before you ask. If you just sound needy, then yeah, you're literally just gonna scare people away. In sales, the top salespeople are the people that need it the least, genuinely. You've just got to adopt that abundance mindset. Focus your time on the guys that deserve your time and try to display some sort of value in the DMs. That's what I always say. Even if you're not the person that's directly giving them value, when I say value, you don't have to start typing out paragraphs of the top strategies used to boost fitness coaches' follower ads or something. You don't need to actually start giving them the strategies, but what you do need to do is introduce the idea that you've got some insights that you can give them if they just give you a little bit of time. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't have to be like, bro, join my program and I've got these loads of insights for you. It's like, oh, mate, I've got loads of insights. I've been working with guys in many similar situations to you, bro. I mean, if I just learn a little bit more about you, maybe we can get on a call over the weekend and I can tell you everything I know. You're just displaying that you've got value to give them and it's not behind a paywall. And then the last thing is go beyond the surface. We kind of touched on this in the first points, which is like, the probing questions, the consequence questions. Don't just ask the same basic bitch questions like everyone else does. Obviously, gauge the conversation, understand who it is that you're talking to. You need to have some sort of social intelligence here. Some people, you're just going to get them booked on a call. Let the closer deal with them. But if they're open and they're receptive and they quite clearly are an engaged customer and they're open with you, they trust you, then go beyond the surface. And I guarantee like it will help you convert so many more guys when you just go a little bit past surface level. Especially if you're on B2C. Because in B2C, I don't even qualify people in B2C anymore. I qualify where they're from and what they do for work, and that's it. I don't qualify income or finances or nothing. Because you can't convince me that if you make someone emotional enough, they can't afford $2,000, $1K, $2K. That you can't convince me otherwise. You know what I mean? If I put a gun to their head, I'll put a gun to their mother's head right now, they'd find $1,000, $2,000. They'd find it somewhere. So going beyond the surface, this is the stuff that's going to make them emotional enough to actually pull the trigger and buy. Now, when it comes to making them emotional, again, not all emotions are going to be pain. It's not all going to be painful emotions. It could be excited emotions. It could be that triggering the emotions of insecurity that their competitors are catching up. Could be the triggering the emotions of how amazing their life would look like in 5 years from the future pleasure that you've got to give them. Emotions could mean any of these 4 things. You need to understand which one it is that you're targeting and then use questions to go deeper into that. That's how to become a great appointment setter. So anyway, apologies for the low energy. I'm not well, so I had a cop-out video. I was like, what's an easy YouTube video for me to record today? And I was like, okay, I've already got loads and loads of notes here on the big board that I can talk about. So I'll just find something to talk about real quick. So yeah, anyway, I hope you found value from it anyway, because I do think I gave you guys quite a lot of source here. Don't have a clue how this video has been 17 minutes long. But yeah, boys, subscribe for more content like this. Take care. Love you. And yeah, see you in a bit, boys. Keep grinding.